Guys, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Therese, and if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. On this channel today, we are going to be making this blazer that I'm putting on right now. It's one of the most beautiful pieces I've made on this channel, trust me. The first part of making this tutorial was the pattern drafting, which is already up on the channel. I'm going to be leaving a link to that in the description box below, and if you're interested in seeing how I made this, definitely keep on watching, and let's go into the video. Please, if you're yet to subscribe, hit on the subscribe button. Please turn on the notification bell as well. So guys, like I said before, I already drafted out the pattern for this tutorial, which is in my previous video, and I'm going to be using this patch fabric as well, which is also a tutorial that I've made before in my previous video. So I'll be leaving the link to this too in the description box for you guys to check out. So right now, this is the center front, as you can see written CF, and this is the side front. So I'm just placing them on the actual fabric, and I'm going to go ahead and cut them out. So guys, before you place your pattern, ensure that your fabric that you're going to be using is in a fold. And when you're cutting, just like you see me doing like this, leave about ½ of an inch stitching allowance all the way around your pattern so that you have enough allowance to stitch them together later. So these are all my patterns cut out on my actual fabric. This is the sleeve, and I also went ahead to use the same pattern to cut out this black lining here for all the pieces as well. So this is the center front of my pattern. I'm just going to remove the pattern paper so that we will go ahead and iron our interface into these pieces. So I have also the lining here. So these are the two front patterns. I went ahead to iron my interfacing to the front pattern, and also the front part of the lining as well. I went ahead to iron my interfacing. So if you're wondering what kind of interfacing you can use, please make use of air stain. So this is what I have here, and this other part is the side front. Remember that I cut out this because I wanted to be able to just join my darts together once, if you've watched my previous video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to join this side front to the center front on this part, and what we're going to do is to just flip it over and make sure it's right side facing each other, and we're going to pin it in place. So now we'll go ahead and stitch it down on this side here, and I'll do the same thing for the other side of the front as well. So guys, after I was done stitching it down, this is what I had. You can see how it came out. Now we have one part for the front, and then this is the other side of the front. So I think if you're confused, or if you've been confused from the beginning, now you will begin to understand what you're trying to do here. Now this right here is the back piece. This is the side back, and then this is the center part of the back. So I'm going to just remove the pattern papers as well, so that we'll go ahead and join these back pieces to give me a one piece. And you can see the lining pieces that I also went ahead to cut out for each part of this. You're going to cut out lining for every single part of your pattern that you have. So these two here, this one and this one here, are the center of the back. So I'm going to first go ahead and just pin it down here in the middle so that we understand what we are doing. So this is the center of the back joined together. I'm going to stitch it in the middle. You can see the neckline here. So I'm going to join this side to this part on the sewing machine, and also join this side to this part here to give me a one piece for the back. So guys, after joining everything together, you can see how the back is looking like, right? So this is the back piece already, and these here are the front pieces that we've already joined together. So right now I'm going to go ahead and join these front pieces on the shoulder. So I'm just going to arrange them in place on the shoulder and pin them down, just like you see me doing like this. Just pin it properly in place, ensure that it's perfectly arranged, and you're going to pin the other side down as well. So guys, I'm going to stitch it down here and here, and also on the sides. I'm going to stitch it down here and also on this other side here with the 1.5 inch stitching allowance that we left earlier. So guys, I've stitched it down like I said, and this is what it looks like. So this middle part here, you can see in the jacket that we're following, it went straight down in front, but I wanted mine to be a little bit curved here in front. So this is totally optional. If you don't want yours to be curved, if you want to just go with the flow just as it is straight like this, is totally fine. But as you see me doing like this, I'm just making a curve from the center of the two front pieces. I actually put the two front pieces together. I just made a curve with my free hand. It's nothing serious. Just make a curve. That's if you're interested in getting a curve in front, which I think actually will make it look more beautiful. So after getting the curve, you see what I mean. This is what it's going to end up looking like in front. So yeah, the next thing we're going to do now is to get a shoulder pad, and for this I'm going to be using a wadding. So I need a pad that will occupy this area here. So I'm not using a specific measurement for this. I'm just going to measure out 5 inches on this side here, 5 inches. You can make use of like 6 inches if you are bigger, and I'm just going to go in by 3 inches. So I'll just make like a semicircle like this. I'm sorry, I'm also using the white chalk, so it's hard to see here. So just make a semicircle like this, like this. So I'm going to make 2 of this for the 2 shoulders. So to place the shoulder pad, I'm going to turn our jacket to the wrong side like this, and I'm going to place the shining part of my wadding, the part that is going to gum to the actual fabric. That's where you place on the shoulder, the top of the shoulder like this. Just try as much as possible to centralize it to the shoulder line, just like you see me doing like this, and we're going to go ahead and iron it in place. So when you're through, you're going to have it just sitting perfectly here like this. And yeah, that's basically all. If you don't have a shoulder pad, this is a way you can just totally improvise for that. So now we're going to turn it over to the right side, just like you see me doing like this. I've already gone ahead to stitch down the sides of my sleeves. So what we're going to do is to now attach the sleeve to the jacket itself. So a way you can do this is, what I'm going to do is to make a notch at the center of my sleeve, and my jacket is turned to the wrong side. So the right side of my sleeve, I'm going to place the sleeve cap and the top of the shoulder here like this together, and I'm going to pin it in place. And then I'll put the side joining of the sleeve and the side joining of the jacket together like this, and I'm going to pin it in place as well. Then we're going to have it looking something like this, and what we're going to do is to go ahead and stitch all the way around, and I went ahead to do the same thing for the other sleeve as well. So this is what we have here. You can see that our jacket is gradually coming to life, and I'm loving how this is coming out. It's so beautiful. So the next thing we're going to do here now is to work on our collar. So I went ahead to cut out 2 pieces of my collar with this black fabric, because as you must have seen in the beginning of the video, my collar was black. So if you don't want your collar to be black, you want to use the same fabric, totally cut this out with the same fabric. I went ahead to also gum my interfacing to this, and what I'm going to do is to make a notch in the middle of the collar like this part here, and we're going to attach it to the middle of our neckline as well. So we're going to arrange the shoulder of our neckline to meet each other like this, and here you already have a joining, so that's the center, but I just made a notch just to be sure here. So we're going to place this notch to face each other like this to join the collar to the neckline, and I'm going to pin it all the way around, just like you see me doing like this. So when you get to this area where it looks like the curve is starting from, we're going to just pin it in place here, and I'm going to measure what I have from that spot to the end of the collar, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side as well. So as you can see, from here to here I have 2 inches. So on this other side, I'll make sure that at the end of the collar I'll also have 2 inches allowance. So here it's 2 inches as well. So we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and stitch this all the way down. I'm going to stop where my pins ended. So this is all for the front part of this jacket. You can see the collar and you can see this lapel here. So it's gradually coming together. Now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and do everything that I've done on this actual fabric here. I'm going to repeat it on the lining. So guys, I've joined all the lining pieces together as well. As you can see, it's looking just like what we had in front. So this center of the front here, you see that my collar was black in front. That's why I used a different kind of black fabric for this part, so that it will be presentable in front. This part I didn't use lining, so if you want to have black hair, you can use a thick kind of crepe fabric or any other fabric that you want to. And if you don't want your collar to be black, you want it to be your actual fabric, please also make use of the actual fabric for this part of the collar instead of using the lining. I actually hope you understand this. And also, when joining your back pieces, ensure that you leave a space just like the one I have here, so that you'll be able to turn everything over by the time you stitch everything together through this space. So that's basically all for the back. And another thing is, we are not going to be adding a shoulder pad to the back pattern. So also I went ahead to give the back that curved shape I gave to the front pattern. So the next thing we're going to do now is to join it together. So as you can see, you're going to open up your actual fabric, turn it to the wrong side, and you're going to wear the lining into the actual fabric, just like you see me doing like this. Ensure that their right sides are facing each other, just like you see me doing like this. Ensure that the right sides are facing each other, just like it is in this video. So now you arrange the neckline of the lining and the actual fabric together, just like I'm doing right now, and you're just going to pin everything in place. Just ensure that everything is sitting properly in place and pin it down. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is to first stitch down the collar area for you guys to see. So I'm going to stitch it down from just around this edge here to end somewhere around here, and I'll be right back. So after I was done, this is what we have. You can see the stitching all around here. So after doing the first stitching, I'm just cutting away all these excesses that we don't need around the collar, just making notches around just to free up space. And I'm going to turn it to the right side. So guys, while I was turning it to the right side, I was using my scissors to turn it, and I mistakenly made a hole in one of my collars, and that really affected the way that part of the jacket came out. I was so unhappy. I didn't know what to do about it. After working on that part of the collar, you will see that my final project actually had one collar looking not as good as the other. So please try as much as possible to be careful enough when you're bringing out those collars and these points right here. So after I was done bringing out the collars and everything, I went ahead to iron it out. You can see this other part is not looking as good as the way this other part looks because of the issue that I had there. But anyways, we're going to continue working with what we have. So the next thing we're going to do is to stitch it all the way around the end, and go ahead and work on the sleeves as well. So to do this, we're going to also flip it to the wrong side, just like you see me doing like this. You will always flip everything to the wrong side so that you have this very neat look at the back. So what you're going to do is to now bring, we stopped our first sewing here, so we're going to continue from here and go ahead and stitch all the way around the other part of the jacket like this, all the way around. And the sleeve is going to be the last thing we will do here. So guys, after stitching it down, this is what I have. So you can see it's all stitched around here. So this is the purpose why we had this opening here. So now we're going to bring it to the right side through this opening. So you can see how it looks like after I was done stitching it down like this. So this is what we have, and you can see our lapel is coming out so nicely already. Now the next thing that is left is for me to go ahead and work on the sleeves. So to work on the sleeve, I'm going to bring it out through this opening that I have at the back here, like this place you have to be extremely attentive, because this part can be a little bit tricky. So what we're going to do is we're going to join the sleeve together. So you're going to bring the side seam of the lining and the side seam of the actual fabric together like this. Ensure that they are facing each other right sides, even though we're doing this from the back, and pin it down. And then we'll just join the other part as well like this, and we're going to pin it in place as well. Ensure that the side seam actually are arranged in the same place, just like you see here, and the two sleeve, which is the lining and the actual fabric, actually just going to be meeting somewhere in the middle, just something like this. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch this around, just on the side here, all the way around. So when I was through with that, this is what it looks like. So it actually looks like one piece now. So when you take it back through the hole that we have, and then try to bring out the sleeve, if you did it correctly, your hand is going to actually come out through the hole. If you didn't, you will realize that you can't bring out your hand from this hole here. So this is what we have. So this is it, it came out perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other sleeve as well, and that will basically be all for this jacket. And also I'll give it a really nice press. And also I'm going to seal up this opening that I had here. I will just put it together like this and just stitch it down on the sewing machine, just very little, and that'll basically be all. So this is all for the jacket. You can see I've stitched it down here and it's barely noticeable. So this is all for the jacket. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you actually try it out. Let me know what you think about this jacket in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, please hit on the subscribe button, turn on notification bell, and yes, I will see you guys in my next one. And this is the final look of my jackets.